I mean, what do you think after, all these years now? How do you feel about it? And she said, well, I just want you to be happy. And I guess it was just when you told me, the hardest thing was to know that people were going to be mean to you. And I guess more than anything, she just didn't want me to, to suffer or to be hurt.
Having children that come out, you end up going through a coming out process as well. And it's much like a grieving process. Your children are not quite what you expected, and you have to go through a grieving process. Sometimes there's denial, and there's certainly lots of tears. And then you go, they're great. They're still the same children. They're still the wonderful people that I've always known.
Pues entonces me encontré este grupo a 3/4 de hora de camino y fui. Se llamaba P-Flag. Y entonces ellos encantadores, cuando entré al grupo me recibieron de maravilla. Entonces también yo me infarté porque al llegar todos estaban muy conformes con sus vidas, con sus hijos, estaban hablando de los novios y las novias que tenían. Dios me guarde, dije, ¿qué es esto? Y yo venía con un dolor de haber apenas cómo salía de la depresión. Y ellos estaban ya muy, muy adelantados.
To me, the greatest test for a parent of unconditional love is to accept your gay child, is to have a gay child. That will test you. It will test every core value you have. It will test your family, your friends, and you find out who really cares about you. And, and I was told, what about criminals and what about, I said, and even if you're a criminal, you have protection. You can get a lawyer, someone can speak up for you. But for being gay, you don't. And that was what what I was trying to get across, that you have the additional burden that society doesn't even protect you. And a criminal does have protection.
Mi hermana me dijo que ella lo aceptaba perfectamente y que quería apoyarme en lo que necesitara, pero que por favor que no se enterara nadie. Entonces le dije, bueno, si no se entera nadie, pero ¿en qué me vas a apoyar? ¿Cuál es tu apoyo, no?
I think one of the first adjustments was dating. Okay, now what do we do for dating? But it turns out it's the same. We always ask the same questions like, where are you going, who are you going with, and we have to have you back by 12:30 no matter what.
Yeah.
So once someone told us dating's the same, every other piece seems to fall into place. It's just the same.
Les hablé a mis hermanas, vinieron y les participé la noticia. Lloramos, porque nosotros los hispanos nos encanta el llanto y la tragedia. Nos reímos y bueno, me apoyaron. Y cuando me di cuenta el cambio tan grande que causó en ellas y en cada una de sus familias al yo informarles.
Mientras la situación de la homosexualidad ha hecho que muchos padres pierdan a sus hijos porque no saben apoyarlos, porque porque a veces quieren que se vayan. Yo, en cambio, he ganado a un bello hijo.
Nila no es que llegara tarde a mi vida. Es decir, bueno, llegó en el momento que tenía que llegar. A mí me hubiera gustado que hubiera sido bastante antes. Es decir, me hubiera gustado que hubiera sido mi madre de siempre, ¿no? O que mi madre hubiera sido como ella. En el sentido de aceptarme tal como soy desde el primer momento y tratarme exactamente igual que a otro hijo cualquiera.
Then when you exclude or reject your children, you're not going to be included in all those things that, the dating and whatever feelings, because they're not going to be talking to you. And I'm so glad that they were able to talk to us at that time, instead of waiting until they went away to college, because I don't want to miss any part of their lives.
It really gets me mad when I hear about people being bashed or ridiculed, or when I see it on TV, that really, it really hurts, you know, because it's kind of like close to home, because knowing that my brother is gay, and that it really hurts. And I guess knowing that the other people out there do it, it gets very, you get very, very angry at that.
El abuso a homosexuales, 49% del abuso es hecho a manos de la propia familia. Es alarmante. Es una cosa alarmante.
My father now knows about me, and I found out a number of years ago, which it sort of made me very happy. For whatever reason, I started a conversation with my aunt. I said, you know, can I ask you something? How does my parents feel about me being gay? They know. I know they know, but they won't talk about it. And it made me cry, and it made me so happy because what she told me I would have never imagined that my father would do. And she would tell me that when he would get drunk, that he would go to her house sometimes, and the only thing he would do is just talk about me, or how proud he was about me. And that, excuse me, and that he was happy that I had met someone. And it was a surprise and it was a shock because it was something totally different than what he used to tell me, you know, from when I was a kid till some years ago.
Entonces tenemos que empezar por las casas, por los padres, que los respeten, que los quieran. Ellos no hicieron nada mal, sus niños nacieron así porque se los mandó Dios, y gracias a Dios que me la mandó a mí.
Lo más difícil para mi mamá es que no me puede ver en el cielo, porque soy lesbiana. Le gustaría verme en el cielo, volverme a encontrar en el cielo, pero siendo lesbiana no puedo entrar al cielo. Y ha llegado mi mamá a otra etapa en su vida en que se da cuenta que Dios nos hizo a todos y no nos va a hacer a unos para que no entremos y otros para que no entremos. Entonces su opinión está cambiando bastante.
If we took other scriptures in the Bible in a similar manner and just pulled them out of context and said, oh, you have to follow this or you have to do that, there's a section in the Old Testament that says, parents, you have to stone to death your children if they disrespect you. We would never think of doing that today.
Le daría un mensaje a los padres de que nos entiendan a nosotros los jóvenes, que nosotros los homosexuales, que tanto como ellos están sufriendo por no aceptarnos, también nosotros sufrimos por el rechazo de ellos y el rechazo de la humanidad. Y llegamos a un límite de, no sé, de algunos jóvenes quitarse la vida porque no nos aceptan tal como somos. Y tenemos que estar buscando, no sé, cualquier cosa, tal vez droga, tal vez alcohol, y para solucionar un poco el vacío que tenemos adentro. Yo hablo por los jóvenes que un día se quitaron la vida y los jóvenes que están sufriendo aún.
The American bishops wrote a letter to parents of gay and lesbian children that was entitled, You Are Our Children. And the point of the letter was almost in a sense to calm down. Parents, calm, be at peace. Your first responsibility as parents is to be there for your children and to be supportive of your children.
Amémonos uno al otro como Jesús nos amó a nosotros. Eso para mí es el contexto religioso de nuestra fe. Si nosotros hemos de amar uno al otro como Jesús nos amó, entonces no hay campo, no hay lugar para el juicio. Es imposible que nosotros veamos a un hermano, una hermana, y juzgarle por cualquier razón, especialmente por cuestión de ser homosexual.
And God created everyone, male, female, in God's image. So folk who are homosexual or bisexual are also created in God's image, and who are we to judge or to turn away people who God has created and sends to us to be ministered with and to.
Es como en la historia. En esta época de la historia, la iglesia no acepta a la gente gay. En el pasado, las iglesias aquí en Texas no aceptaban a la gente que hablaba español. Y así pasa, yo creo, en cualquier iglesia. Si no aceptamos a alguien por algo, no vamos a tener todos los regalos de esa persona para crecer como iglesia, como familia.
The mother's role was very, very similar to the virgin's. Because the Virgin Mary had to see what her son went through. Lots of pain. They called her son names. They stoned him, and they crucified him. The mothers of gay sons and lesbians do the same thing. They worry about their sons. They're afraid, the moms are afraid that they're going to be killed for who they are.
Jesus never spoke against homosexuality, never once made any negative comments about it. And Jesus has called us to love those in particular who have been excluded and put down. So Jesus' constant message about love your neighbor, love your enemy, love those who are oppressed and put down and marginalized, says again to us, we have to look at our discipleship. Are we going to be faithful disciples of Jesus Christ and welcome everybody into the church and affirm who they are and the gifts that God has given them to share in ministry? Or are we going to be exclusive?
Yo no voy a decir tengo la esperanza, tengo la certeza de que esto va a cambiar, para mejorar la vida de nuestros hijos gays y que se les acepte por la clase de gente que son ellos y que merecen respeto. Yo tengo 2 hijas y yo quiero la misma ley para las 2, los mismos beneficios para las 2, la misma alegría para las